Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to do a quick tabletop talk about the match review and kind of some of the upgrades I've done on my P10C, and we're going to talk about how reliable it was, and I'm going to tell you kind of some things that I think about it. Let's go over the gun real quick again because we might have new viewers to the channel. So I bought this gun about 5 years ago. It has Cerakote and slide cuts done by Jaeger Works. It had a dot milled by Jaeger Works as well. We have a ported barrel that we done most recently just a few weeks ago. I had got it in, and this is done by Mac Defense. It's got stippling done by me. It's got an aftermarket striker, aftermarket magwell, an Olight PL Mini 1. You got a 507 X2 C, 507C X2 Hollow Sun red dot. It's got Dawson Precision raised sights that co-witness with the red dot as well. But yeah, the trigger is HB Industries. It's got over travel stop that I made custom for the gun. It has some spring kits done to it. Well, just a couple springs changed in it. Some polishing and stuff on the inside for the trigger and things like that is done as well on the inside. But yeah, I've got other videos if you want more specs on the weight and the trigger pull and stuff like that. I've got other videos, so go look at those, please. Please like and subscribe too, because these videos take a lot of my time and they take a lot of effort and time away from family, so it really makes me feel better if people are actually watching and subscribing and liking these videos, because I know I'm making content that's useful to other people, and that's what I want to do. But anyway, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, so we shot this ported for the first time in the match yesterday, and the gun did really well. Let's go over the match kind of. We'll talk about some things. Stage 1, I did pretty good. Ran the stage pretty well. I went to hit the mag release, and I kind of hit it up high, and I didn't really get a good push on it, and so it took me maybe a half a second or a second longer, so that kind of delayed me a little bit on stage 1. That was one of the negative things on stage 1 that I did. That cost me a little time. Stage 2, I feel like I ran fairly good. I did, when I went to do a mag change and I was running from one position to the next, I did come close to moving my muzzle past the 90 degree, and I did get a warning for that. I did not break the 90 degree barrier, but I did kind of come close. Sometimes they're a little bit too picky on that kind of stuff, but I understand, safety is number one. We want to keep everybody safe. It's at the matches, but sometimes they can be a little bit snappy about kind of calling those things out, and I feel like they might have been a little snappy on that, but yeah, I understand it, and I knew I did it when I did it, and so I didn't let that mentally get to me. I still finished the stage out pretty strong. Did pretty good on stage 2. Stage 3 was my best stage yesterday. We're also going to show some video of the stages in this clip, in this video as well, so you'll be watching some of the stages we do during this at some time. But stage 3, I did really well, run it really good. Really was happy with how we did on that stage. Stage 4, the gun did really good. It was my first stage of the day because we went 4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3. That was the order of my stages, even though my video will show in an actual order from 1 to 6. But stage 4 was my first stage of the day. I found myself with a little bit of, sometimes I get kind of a little bit of brain fog, and especially my first few stages when I come to a match, and I felt like I was there. I got there early, and they started late, and I felt like the longer I was waiting, the more I was overthinking everything, and sometimes that causes me the most problems. But in stage 4 was the easiest stage of the day, and it was just basically, I think, 6 targets, 2 shots to the body, 1 to the head, and what happened was on the first reload, I decided to reload at 5 rounds because we had to start with 6 rounds, and I shot 2 to the body and was going to finish with 1 to the head on the silhouette target for my 6th shot, and I forgot to shoot that, engage that target to the head, so that cost me probably more time than about any mistake yesterday. Even though I made several small mistakes, that was probably the worst one I made all day, and yeah, that really bummed me out. And it's funny how when you make a mistake on your first stage, especially, if you're not careful, you can carry the weight of that mistake mentally through the whole match, and it affect you the whole time and cause you to make little mistakes or lose your confidence in yourself or the gun or whatever when we make those little mistakes. But I tried to get past that, and I seen as we went to the last 3 stages I did of the day, I actually did pretty good. If I would have done as good on the first 3 stages as I did on the last 3, I think I would have been at least 5 positions higher than I was. And I kind of let the brain fog and the mistake kind of get to me the rest, for some of the day, and I should have not done that. Because as I started to have fun, the gun started really, showing its potential, and I started getting comfortable with the gun. But let's go into that as well. Well, let's talk about stage 4 and 5. So stage 4 and 5 did okay. No major mistakes. My accuracy was lacking in stage 4, I think. Either 4 or 5, I didn't get the accuracy I normally get. My accuracy was still really good compared to many people, but it wasn't as good as it normally is. And part of that's getting used to a light gun. We'll talk about that in just a second too. So we'll show you kind of what I normally shoot. So I normally shoot these heavy guns like this Canik Rival S, and I want to do a comparison to the P10 because they're ported by the same company and they're ported almost the same way. So I'd like to do a comparison between this heavy ported gun with the same ports and the P10 that's lighter weight, and kind of show you a comparison and talk about a comparison between the two. But I usually shoot guns like that, or guns like this Masterpiece that I really love, and they're all 40 plus ounces. All these guns are 40 plus ounces. The P226 Legion X5, also over 40 ounces. And so you go from 40 ounces to a gun that weighs 25, 26 ounces unloaded, from a gun that weighs 42 ounces unloaded. It's just a really big difference, guys. I mean, when you've got to get used to it. You can't just go to the match and just shoot this as good as you can one of these heavier guns, or be used to this and go to a heavy gun and just shoot it great. There's going to be some adjusting that you have to do. So, but one thing I did notice, just letting you guys know, that the transitions target to target is easier with a lightweight gun. Really liked how this gun did that, and the transitions, and the accuracy is there if you can get used to, another thing I want to compare to is, say, if you go from a trigger like this to a trigger like this being a really good trigger and this being a great trigger, it takes a little bit of adjustment there as well. When you get really spoiled with the best triggers kind of in the market, and you go to a trigger that's still really, really good. Don't get me wrong, this is way better than most stock Glock triggers. But when you go from that to that, it does kind of hold you back a little bit. You got to adjust to it. So it took me a few, maybe 30 or 40 rounds to kind of really adjust to the trigger again for a match situation under stress and at speed. But once I kind of got kind of used to it, and I started adjusting to it, the gun did phenomenal, and it's extremely accurate. This gun is just as accurate as some of them high-end guns, or almost just as accurate as them high-end guns. So it did really well there, and I have no complaints about it. I want to say too that even though this gun is 25 ounces, this gun shot extremely flat with those ports. I mean, it shot just as flat as any of these other guns that are ported that I have that are even heavier. It shoots extremely flat, and the weight of the slide. Also, this one does have a 10-pound Glock spring in it, so it's got a lightened spring and an aftermarket stainless steel guide rod. So that I did that so that the ports wouldn't limit the gun from cycling correctly. So it ejected just enough, the round just far enough to not cause cycling problems, had enough energy to push the next round into the chamber, which is perfect, and that's what you want. So yeah, that was awesome. There's another awesome thing that I didn't even really, I didn't have much experience with, but I kind of just adjusted to during the stages and during the match. And that was, this gun is awesome and known for the fact that when you throw a magazine in really hard on a slide lock reload, the slide will automatically drop. And I found that actually pretty phenomenal, that when the slide was open, I can't show you here because this has no rounds in it. I'm not going to do that on YouTube. But if this has rounds in it and the follower is not pushing up on the slide lock, if you had rounds in it and you slam this in, it would actually cause the slide lock to drop, and it will automatically close the slide. So it looked like I was a professional shooter or a professional competition shooter when I was doing my mag reloads, because as soon as the thing would go in, the slide would drop, and it made my slide reloads look really, really good. And it wasn't me, it was really the gun doing it for me. I'm pretty quick with slide reloads, with slide lock reloads. I'm not that slow, I'm not super fast, but this gun made me look 3 times faster with the way it worked and everything as far as that goes. And you can watch the video and you see what I'm talking about. I mean, as soon as I put the magazine in, the slide would drop and load the round. So that, knowing that, it kind of makes me not want to go to another gun when I'm shooting IDPA in a way, because that is a huge advantage. That's about a 1/4 second to 1/2 second advantage every time you do a reload. Even if you're fast, I think you can drop it. You can drop your time by 1/8 of a second or 1/4 second by just having the gun do that for you. So that is really cool. But guys, yeah, I got to sum this up because I'm taking too long. But yeah, the gun ran 100% reliable, even ported, and with all the aftermarket stuff done to it, it's been 100% reliable so far. I have about 180 rounds or so through this gun since I ported it, and it's been great. So I just wanted to give you an update on it, and I hope that y'all will please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, leave them below. Please, like I said, please leave a like, because it allows me to do more videos like this and encourages me to take my time away from my family and kids sometimes to kind of help you guys out or kind of show you some cool things about the gun. But yeah, the gun ran great. Please watch the video. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know. We'd like to answer them. God bless. Have a great day.